The VFS Fresh Meet may be one of the most important things that you do in the beginning of your animation career. Let's talk about it. Hey, hello everybody. There's a chance that my name is Chance, and this is Everything Animation, a channel dedicated to answering every question that you may have about everything animation so that you have the best chances of succeeding in your dreams in the animation industry. At the end of the 6th term of the 3D animation and visual effects program at Vancouver Film School, there's this thing called a Fresh Meet. This is where you get to say a few words about yourself and show your demo reel to industry professionals. Some of them are looking for employees. The presentation is done one at a time, and after everyone's presented, you and all of the industry professionals get to go down into the basement of VFS and have drinks together, have some snacks together, and talk for a few hours. So for your presentation, you're going to say a couple words about yourself and then present your almost finished demo reel unless you finished early. So for me, I said, "Hey, my name is Chance Litke, and I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia. I fell in love with animation when I watched How to Train Your Dragon for the 50th time, and then in my IT class, we started to work in Blender, and I started looking up Blender. I loved it. I was looking up new animations, new tools, new ways of using it, and Google noticed, and they started only giving me Vancouver Film School ads, and luckily, I clicked on one by accident, and it sent me to a page asking me to come and see the school, and I did and fell in love with it. I hope that you can see my love for animation come through in my reel. And then my reel played, and it was the next person's turn. So after all the presentations are done, we all went downstairs and had some food and drinks. And let me dispel some myths for you. You do not need to have a website, and you do not need to have business cards. Though it might be good in some cases, it's not necessary. There are people who have gotten jobs off of writing their name on a piece of paper and giving it to somebody, which I would suggest having a piece of paper and a pen. 1, because you can write your contact information. 2, because you can rip it off and give it to somebody else. 3, you can write down somebody else's contact information. And 4, probably the most important, you can write down all of the notes that these industry professionals are going to give you about your reel so you can make it better in the last few months of Vancouver Film School. And the whole part about the website, I don't think you need a website at this point. It could be good to have a website when you're trying to find your first job. It looks more professional. It does help with that, but it's not necessary for Fresh Meet. For me, I just had my demo reel and some of my best work that I had done throughout the year on my phone in my Google Drive, and I had set it to available offline, I believe is what it's called. And that way, because we're way underground in this thing that used to be a museum, I don't even know how far down it is. It's really far. I had no cell phone reception. So I'm really lucky that I had thought about it and I had pressed, hey, I want this downloaded on my phone in case I didn't have cell phone reception. And so I was able to show it to the industry professionals. They went through it frame by frame and said, oh, you could change this up. This pose could be better. The timing could be better here. And it was just all around really, really good information. And, I just met some new people that I had never met before. I just talked to them about their careers, about where they went to school, about how the industry works, about why they love animation. It was so interesting to hear, and the people really liked having questions asked about themselves. So I definitely suggest just talk to people. Ask them about themselves. Ask them about their careers. Ask them about what they enjoy. Even ask them what their favorite superhero is. Just something silly like that. Just make some friends. Make some contacts in the industry. And that is how you get your job. That's how you're going to get your jobs in the future. So the people you know. Now, personally, in my Fresh Meet, there was no one from my class that got hired that night, though there has been people in other classes that have. You hear stories about it all the time. Now, that little story that I was going to tell you about. There was a very special animator that came to my Fresh Meet, and I'm never going to forget what he said to me about my work. This guy named Aaron Gilman, who has worked on The Matrix 2, Avatar. He was one of the main animators on Avatar. He had worked on Smaug, the big dragon from The Hobbit. He was like one of the main animators for Smaug. He'd worked on like Alvin and the Chipmunks. In general, all of the stuff that he's worked on, I think is very, very impressive. And, sometimes like Alvin and the Chipmunks, he does like some fun kind of break stuff, These are huge blockbuster movies and the animations for them are insane. And he wanted to talk to me. So I go over to him and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he says, hey, can I see your reel again? So he watches it again and goes, are you trying to be a visual effects animator or a cartoon animator? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never specifically tried to do visual effects animation. All that they really teach us is cartoony animation. And he said, you have potential to be a visual effects animator and you are pretty good at animation. I had already known who he was, and him saying that, I think, made my life. Like, it made the whole year of struggle worth it, because that was just such a big deal for me. He gave me some notes and constructive criticism on my shots, which I just took as amazing that I could even get this information from him. And like, I'm so thankful for Vancouver Film School for setting up the fresh meat and like making this whole thing happen. And this isn't to discount anything that the other animators and professionals that I talked to said. Just, he's really big, and I knew about him. And one of my family's favorite movies is Avatar, and he worked on it, and he was one of the main people on it. It was really cool hearing this, not only from an industry professional, but from him. That is just the really, really cool thing that happened in my fresh meat. I would love to hear what happens in yours. Let me know when it finally happens. Leave it in the comments down below. Let me know on the Facebook group. I'd love to hear your guys' stories. And if you guys got anything from this video, please subscribe to the channel to get more. Like this video if you liked it, if you want to like it, if you like to like stuff, if you like. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Ask any of your questions down in the comments down below, and don't forget to smile.